Yo, so YouTube, it's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. I had this question asked by somebody who was a younger investor. And, I just want to say thank you guys so much for actually tuning in and asking questions, because I get to make videos like this to discuss some things with you guys, okay? And some of my beginner investors, especially in high school and college, or either you just started that job after college, you need to know the difference, okay, between just passive income, okay, and then quick money, right? Something like day trading, something like options, and how you can scale up, okay? How you can improve your investments. So, as y'all know, I started with just $15, okay? $15 is what I started with in NVIDIA back in 2023. Now, the point of this video is how to grow your investments. I currently, okay, this was 23, okay? So I currently have about 5.1K, okay, in my Robinhood account, and it is year 25, about to be 26. Then I have about 2.1K, okay, in my Webull account for my long terms, okay? Now, when I talk about this stuff, okay, it is not just to show you guys these numbers. It's to tell you about the psychological part of trading and investing, okay? So when you trade, okay, you kind of have a different approach, and you have a different way you look at money than you invest. And here's what I mean by that, okay? I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I mean, okay? So I was investing for about a full year, okay? About a full year, and I was slowly growing my account from $15. I was investing in NVIDIA, then I was investing in something like Apple, AMD, and I was slowly growing my investments. But I was most importantly learning. Okay, the goal for me is always to invest. Okay, it's always to invest. I tell you guys, I'm a trader second. The reason why I'm a trader second is because this can change your psychological game very, very, very much. Okay, because when you invest, it's slower. It takes more time. Okay, you got to put more time and effort into just staying patient. When you're trading, yeah, you're being patient, but if you hit an option trade real quick, you can make a lot of money very quick. Okay, and that's one of the ways I was able to grow these amounts so fast, right? I started with $15, but what's the secret? Okay, if you want to trade, always have a small amount of money you're trading. So don't start with a big amount. Okay, do not start with the big amount, because if you're a beginner, because then you're going to start treating this game like a gamble. Have you ever heard people say, I just blew my account? Hey, I just lost almost everything on options. Is because they don't understand that these two are different. This is the longer game, and you want to be in the longer game. You want to, let's say you just traded AMD, right? For example, last month I traded AMD and I made 1,000%. Cool. Okay, let's say you made $3,000 worth of profit. Okay, now the bad approach with this will be take that full 3,000, okay, and then you trying to flip it again right here. Okay, here's how smart people scale up not only their trades, but their investments. They take that quick profit they made with their trades, and then they go over to investments. And then they look at companies that they can hold for a year, 2 years, while they trade a little bit. Okay, so money management is key here. So for example, if I'm a beginner trader and I'm learning how to do options, and you want to grow your account, remember the goal is always to grow your account. But you just made $3,000 of profit, okay? And now you're like, I want to flip that. No, right? Out of here, let's say you take 1,000 out, okay? You put 1,000 and you put it back into the trading side. You put that 1,000 back into the trading side. You take at least $1,000, okay? And you look for a growth investment. something like Celsius, something like a Robinhood, something like SoFi, even buying shares of AMD, something like Nvidia, and holding those out for 6 months to 8 months. Again, you got 1,000 here, you're going to trade it with 1,000, you're going to trade it with another 1,000, you're going to invest with another 1,000 here. Okay, so we look for a growth stock, something that's a little bit more aggressive, like Meta, like I don't know, like Microsoft is a good one, right? Some of the big tech companies, somewhere you can park that cash, or look for a smaller growth company, right? And then keep about 500, okay? 500 safe. So put this into a dividend ETF, okay? So put this into like SCHD is another one of those ones, right? Look up SCHD. Okay, always have this on your side. So you made money from here, transfer that over here, try to put this somewhere safe. Okay, now you got 1,000, 500, 2,500, right? You got $500 left. Guess what you can do with that 500, right? If you really want to, you can go to crypto and trade with that 500 in crypto. But what I would most likely do is I would keep that 500 to the side. So I would keep that 500 to the side somewhere in case I want to average down and there's more buying opportunities, right? And put that into a high yield savings account, or just put that right here with this, right? Match it up right here, and you got 500 worth of, more just sitting on the sidelines, right? So call this the sidelines, ready to invest. I was able to do this with AMD and buy Meta, okay? And by the way, if you see a buying opportunity, okay, for example, let's say I took that 3,000 and I threw it back in an options play, and Meta goes down, and I see an opportunity, I can't jump on that opportunity because I don't know how to manage money, right? So don't get stuck too much right here, okay? You want to balance it out. So the key of it is to take money from your trades, okay, and then kind of move over to investment side of things. Look into something like a growth stock. Then look at something like a safe investment. If you're younger, you can do this, and the process is going to literally repeat itself over and over again. A lot of people that are smart, right, they don't get greedy. So some of the things you cannot do and absolutely cannot do is get greedy, okay? Greed is going to destroy your wealth. So you cannot be greedy. You cannot say, oh, I just made 3,000. Let me flip that and make it to 10K. You can get lucky a few times, right? Guys, I made 1,000% last month, but I'm going to tell you right now, that is not sustainable. That is definitely 100% not sustainable. Don't get greedy to the point where you're catering too much to your trades, but not looking at investment opportunities, okay? Because this is where, in my opinion, okay, this is where a lot of the wealth is being built, right? When you take money from here, you throw it in SCHD, you throw it in something like VOO, okay? So something like these, right? You can't go wrong with these. You throw it down in something like QQQM, okay, for your safe investments. So I'm giving you some of these ticker symbols just to keep in your mind, okay? So you can be greedy, and then you absolutely cannot be unbalanced. So what I mean by unbalanced is, right? Let me write that down real quick, right? You cannot be unbalanced is you cannot have too much money here and then not have nothing over here. Okay, now again, I've been using these type of techniques with just small amount of money. So when you really scale up, I'm not saying don't trade at all. Trade, 100% trade. But if you get too greedy and you're unbalanced, you're basically throwing that money away. Okay, you've made that $3,000 in, I don't care if it's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, right? If you've made that money as a beginner, learn how to manage that money, right? That is where you don't go wrong. That is where you don't go unprofitable. That's where you don't go, you don't go literally to $0 in your Robinhood account or your Webull account, because you're not over trading, you're not over leveraging just on one side of things. So being greedy is going to hurt you. Being unbalanced is going to hurt you. Okay. The third thing is going to be staying true to your strategies. Okay. Don't get fancy. Okay. So technical analysis is very important. So technical analysis, if you're a trader, right? technical, and fundamentals too if you're an investor, right? So learn these. So when you look at the charts, what are you seeing? Are you just entering because the stock goes down and you think, oh yeah, this is a buying opportunity because it's going to go down, go back up? No. What is something like a RSI, right? So you need to learn about indicators. So learn about the RSI indicator. These are something I use, day to day, or I look at them to spot opportunities in the market. Something like a RSI, something like MACD, right? Something like the 20 moving average, okay? Resistance and support. So R and S, resistance and support. Basically, when the stock is moving like this, right, you need to be able to know where to buy, when to sell, and these indicators are going to help you. This is called technical analysis. Don't just buy blindly because a stock went down. A stock could go down for a little bit and still be overbought, right? So when you understand these things, guys, the game turns into a whole different level. Now losses are involved, okay? So don't be afraid to take a loss. But understand, if you can manage money the right way, the losses are only going to be lessons, okay? So turn losses, okay? So turn a loss to a lesson. So if you learn from your loss, for example, I lost money trading Alibaba September 23rd because it was FOMC, okay? So you can say, don't trade on Newsday, right? So no trades on news. As simple as that, right? Build out rules like this that you can literally carry out in your investment journey while knowing how to manage money. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe.